Everybody, and thank you for watching another one of Sean's recipe videos. Today I'm going to be doing some stewed pork belly with vegetables and some barbecue pork that I picked up for cheap at the local Asian market. Stewing them in a crock pot, so hang out with me for a bit to check it out and maybe make it for yourself. Let me know. And here you go. The ingredient we're going to be using today is the pork belly that I found for sale at the grocery store. I also have some barbecue pork that they made pretty much that day. It should still be good. I'm going to add that in there for some flavor. Scallions, pepper, ginger, onion, and 5 cloves of garlic. This is all going to be for the marinade, as well as some hot sauce, rice and vinegar, soy sauce, 5 spice, some Szechuan pepper, chili, salt, and pepper. Then later on, I've got some celery, carrot, bok choy, some mushrooms, and some seaweed that I rehydrated, as well as some tomatoes, and that's all going to go inside of a crock pot that I stew, and it's going to be delicious. So the first step that I have to do is get all this chopped up and into my bowl where some of the liquid from that is, and then I'm going to chop up the pork belly and the barbecue meat here, give it a little bit of a sear so it's got some flavor, get it in that marinade, and then let it sit for, until I feel like it needs to get in the oven because I want to eat sometime today. Anyway, now to get chopping. Now all the chopping's done. I've got our pork belly into little cubes. I've added salt and pepper to them. I don't really need much more at this point because I'm just going to fry them and get a little bit of color going. Especially on the skin, you want to blister that before you start your marinade. My vegetables, I've got half the onion, I've got the peppers, I've got the ginger and the garlic, and the chili pepper, as well as the barbecue pork in here with a bunch of salt and pepper. This thing here is pretty good for now until I end up putting my pork back in there. At that point I'm going to worry about my other spices and my liquids. So for now, time to get this into a pan, get it fried and blistered, and then I will be right back with you after I've done that step. Only takes a couple of minutes, it's not going to be long at all. And here we go. A hot pan, and the pork goes in. Okay. Now our pork's had a little bit of a fry, so we can take that and get it in with all of our vegetables. Okay. They're a little bit picky. Knock them off the pan. And there we go. You're going to have a lot of juices left in your pan. We're going to take care of that in a second here, actually. This is part of building the sauce. Take your rice wine vinegar, put that in there, and put the juices in there. Then the soy sauce. Got 1.5 out of that in here, because you've got a lot of vegetables and a lot of meat. It needs to suck up flavor. Use low sodium if you're worried about that. I'm not. I've got other problems to worry about. Put extra in here. Just so there's a bit more meat juices in there. I kind of just want all that flavor. I might cook down a bit of water in there after. A little bit more sauce. Okay. Now that we've got the hot juices and everything going, it's time for us to grab our spices. And this is where the prickly ash or Szechuan peppercorn, the chili, and the 5 spice are going to come in handy. I'm going to pause it for a bit just so I can open these up for you. Okay, now we've got our chili pepper, our 5 spice, and our Szechuan peppercorn opened. And I've also added some chili to this, just because I like a little bit more heat. And then don't be afraid of your spices. Like, you're going to need a copious amount. That's the key. Lots of flavor. Bunch of chili. I'm not afraid of it being too spicy. Szechuan peppercorn is really good. Gives you like a numbing flavor. It's awesome. And some more salt. And some more pepper. Okay. Now I'm going to stir this all up with a spoon. You can use your hand too if you really want. So I'm fine with that. Okay. I'm going to pretend that I'm going to stir this up with a spoon. And then I'm going to use my hand, because that's how we do things here. Get it all mixed. And then you have your marinade going. And once I'm sure that this is all mixed up, it's going in my fridge for about an hour. After that, I'm going to get back with you. We're going to chop up the other vegetables, put everything inside our crock pot, and that's just going in the oven for the rest of the day. Probably going to put it with noodles or rice or something. So, there you go. That's how we marinate. That's the first step. I will catch back with you later. Bye. Now that my meat's had a chance to marinate for close to an hour and a half, I've mixed it all up to make sure there's an even distribution of everything, and chopped some more vegetables. I've got some bok choy, probably about 4 little small ones, a large size onion, 3 sticks of celery, 3 sticks of carrot, and a bit more green onion just for good luck. Then I've got about 10 diced shiitake mushrooms that I've been rehydrating all day, as well as some seaweed. This is just some long seaweed. You can find it in any Asian supermarket. You rehydrate that the same way you would mushrooms when you're cooking with them. And then I'm adding fresh mushrooms as well. That's all getting mixed inside that, and then I'm going to be putting it in here, in my stove with the lid on, back in the oven. So the oven is heated up now to 350 degrees, and I'm going to mix all those things together, show you what it looks like, and then get this in the oven. Now everything mixed in, I actually decided to forego the tomatoes that I was going to add to this recipe, and instead I added about 2.5 cups of stock, just to keep everything moist, and it's going to bubble and be absolutely delicious. So the oven's heated up now, 350 degrees again. And then I just get my lid on there. And I'm going to pop that in, and I will see you guys probably in about an hour when I check on this, kind of stir it up, make sure everything's underneath. I might stir it at a half hour as well, but you're probably not going to see that one, because there's really no point. So I will get back to you guys in an hour. Enjoy yourself till then. Okay, so this has been cooking for an hour now. As you can see, there's actually a lot more liquid now that a lot of things have started to cook down a bit. The meat is looking really delicious, and it smells incredible in my house. So I'm going to end up giving that a stir. Make sure that everything gets a chance to be under there and gets up off the bottom if it's starting to stick, which it's not at all because this is a cast iron pot. And then we basically just decide how much longer we want this to cook for. Everything is falling apart and it's going to be really delicious, but I want that liquid to kind of cook down a lot, and it's still relatively early in the day. So I'm probably going to let this cook pretty much all night. I'm not going to get back in with you for a while because, you know, it's a very long cooking process. Once I've actually decided that this is done, I'm going to check back in with you guys and show you finishing this up, get it on a plate, and have some food. Anyway, until then, enjoy yourselves. After everything's been in there for a total of 2 hours, 1 hour since my last update, it's all cooked down. It all tastes absolutely delicious. I tried the liquid, it is fucking amazing. Pardon my language, it was amazing. Anyway, the only problem with it at this point is that the liquid is still a little too thin, so I'm going to put it in uncovered, probably for maybe an hour, maybe more than that, until we want to have supper. Let's start my rice in an hour. So it thickens up and becomes more of a sauce. But you could serve this now as a soup, and it would be absolutely delicious and people would love it. Anyway, that's your update for now. I will be back with you in a little bit. There we go. By leaving it in the oven uncovered for another hour and a bit while I made rice, all the liquid is boiled down and it's all flavorful and delicious, and it's become a saucy glaze for the entire thing. I've put up some rice, so next step for me is to serve it all, and I will show you that in a second. Anyway, this is what it looks like when it's ready to be done in the oven. Okay, and there you have it. That's our pork belly stewed with greens and vegetables, as well as some barbecue pork that I got at the local Asian market for fairly cheap. I hope you try it yourself. It's relatively easy to make. Just takes some time in the oven. If you liked this recipe, please check out my other recipes, like, share with your friends, and enjoy. Please comment, let me know if there's any other ideas for things that you'd like to see me cook for you. I can figure that out. Either way, have yourself a great night, and thank you for watching my video. Check them all out. Bye!